I mean, why would Diddy want to Jamie Foxx?
If you know that you have, well, just to give some insight to people watching, when you come under federal investigation, they send you a target letter. You know, you get informed that you're being investigated. So if you wanted to tie up loose ends and you were concerned that people that you knew could incriminate you, you may have interest in eliminating them. We've seen this all throughout history.
Diddy is spiraling after his own bodyguard just exposed the darkest secret in hip-hop history.
Well, I know he Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
What started as another day in court turned into chaos when Big Homie CC dropped a bombshell that had Diddy banging tables and security rushing in. The allegation? That Sean Combs tried to poison Jamie Foxx to cover up what really happened at those infamous parties. This isn't gossip from the streets anymore. This is sworn testimony that could flip everything we thought we knew about Jamie's mysterious health scare.
I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
Courtroom went dead silent when Big Homie CC took the stand and delivered the words that shattered Diddy's composure. I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact. The former bodyguard didn't whisper these accusations or hint around the edges. He said it straight to the judge's face while Diddy sat just feet away. Court insiders say the music mogul's reaction was immediate and explosive. He slammed his hand on the table, his face twisted with rage, and started yelling before his lawyers could stop him. Security had to step in to restore order, while Diddy's legal team scrambled to contain the damage. But Big Homie Double C wasn't done. He explained that Jamie had been secretly recording at parties where things happened that nobody was supposed to document.
I just like, I was in that tunnel though. It was hot in that tunnel.
The bodyguard claimed that when Diddy discovered the footage existed, everything changed. That's allegedly when the plan to eliminate Jamie was set in motion.
Baby oil, more than 1,000 bottles altogether.
The timing lines up perfectly with what we know. Jamie Foxx was filming content, attending parties, and then suddenly in April 2023, he vanished from public life with a mysterious medical emergency that doctors couldn't properly explain. Remember how Jamie just disappeared? One day he was cracking jokes and making movies. The next day his family was asking for prayers while he fought for his life in an Atlanta hospital.
One day I flipped it on him and showed up in it was town car days. I had a town car. Popped out the town car with a camera. Said, yo, Puff, yo, you gotta let me film this, the whole thing. We need to document this, Playboy. He was like, yo, let him through. And I'm like, all right, I'm through. And I had the big Canon camera. It wasn't like this.
Sure, yeah.
So I had the big Canon camera with the light and the battery. Yo, do that again, Puff.
The official story was a stroke, but even from the beginning, people weren't buying it. Jamie was relatively young, physically active, and had no known health issues that would cause such a sudden collapse. His daughter's cryptic social media posts, the family's refusal to give details, and the complete media blackout around his condition all felt wrong.
April 11th last year, bad headache. Asked my boy what happened. It was gone for 20 days. I lived in the bleeding.
Wow.
So they told me I'm in Atlanta. They told me my sister and my daughter took me to the first doctor. Out of quality couldn't have they put us in the track. Ex-doctor said, something going on up there. I won't say it on camera. I won't say everything's last stop. It was up there.
When Jamie finally returned to public appearances months later, everyone noticed the changes. He looked thinner, more cautious, and spoke carefully about his experience. During interviews, he'd joke about not remembering much from his time in the hospital, but his eyes told a different story.
I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. You know, I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with now, you know, by being quiet, sometimes things, you know, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. And then, you know, some people were talking about I'm clone. Well, check this out. Just kidding you. Not clone, man, but I'm here on Earth because of some great people. I'm here on Earth because of...
There was fear there that wasn't present before. He'd deflect questions about his health with humor. But when anyone mentioned Diddy's name in connection to his illness, Jamie would go completely silent or change the subject immediately. The Netflix special gave us our biggest clue about what really happened. Jamie made what seemed like a throwaway joke about leaving Diddy's parties early, saying he was out by 9 o'clock because something didn't look right and it was slippery in there.
And that said that Puffy tried to me. I left them parties early. I was out by 9. Something don't look right. It's slippery in here.
The audience laughed, but anyone following the case knew that wasn't really a punchline. It was Jamie's way of distancing himself from whatever went down after dark at those gatherings. He was telling us he saw enough to know he needed to get out, but maybe not before his camera caught something it shouldn't have. Industry insiders started connecting the dots when they realized Jamie had been openly talking for years about filming at Diddy's events. He'd joke on talk shows about bringing cameras to document the parties, even describing how he'd show up with professional equipment and lights. In one clip that's now being analyzed frame by frame, Jamie talks about Diddy getting upset when he suggested he could throw a better party for less money.
Playboy, this party's $1.5 million. I said, like, for what? I mean, what are you saying? He said, it costs $1.5 million to throw this party. I said, Puff, oh my God, I love it. The party's amazing. Yes, the mayor is here and everything. I said, but that's too much money. I said, you come to my place in LA, I'll throw you a party for $400 that will rival this party. And he got a little mad because, you know, he was like, yo, no, I'm known for this shit. Don't front.
Diddy's response was telling. He got angry and defensive about his reputation for hosting these exclusive gatherings. What makes this even more sinister is that Jamie wasn't just a random guest at these parties. According to some sources, he was hosting similar events himself. Jaguar Wright has claimed that Jamie's own gatherings had a dark side, with activities that mirrors what allegedly happened at Diddy's freak-offs. If true, this means Jamie wasn't just a witness to criminal behavior, no. He might have been a participant who decided to flip and cooperate with federal investigators. The federal angle is what makes Big Homie CC's testimony so dangerous for Diddy. When someone becomes a federal informant or cooperates with an investigation, they're usually given protection. But if that person has compromising evidence that could destroy powerful people, they become a target. The Bodyguard's claim that Jamie reported the poisoning to the FBI suggests that law enforcement already knows about the alleged attempt on Jamie's life and might be building a case around it. Cassie's lawsuit and the video evidence that followed opened the floodgates for other victims to come forward. Her testimony about years of abuse, control, and being forced into disturbing situations painted a picture of someone who used power to silence people permanently. If Diddy was willing to abuse someone he claimed to love for years, what would he do to someone who threatened to expose his darkest secrets to federal agents? The pattern is becoming clear to anyone paying attention. People who get too close to Diddy's inner circle and then try to distance themselves either disappear, have mysterious accidents, or suddenly become very quiet about what they've seen.
Jamie done a lot. The naked basketball games that he hosted. I mean, everybody knew. And there's no point in me hiding it now because his fate has been sealed, whatever it may be. But everybody knew if you went to a party at Jamie's house that at midnight, the witching hour began. And basically he would have a party and everybody would be in there. But at 12 o'clock, the women would start to take off their clothes and you would have to guess if you were with a cisgender woman or a transgender woman. So some of these dudes, they already been making out with these chicks, you know, they already been doing all kinds of stuff. And then the clothes come off and you figure out whether or not you got a chick or a chick with a dick. That was a standard. Or the night that another male.
Jamie's health scare fits perfectly into this timeline. He was vocal about the parties, he was filming content, and then suddenly he was fighting for his life in a hospital bed while his family remained mysteriously tight-lipped about the cause. What's terrifying is that this might not be an isolated incident. Industry whispers suggest that other celebrities who attended these parties are now scared to speak publicly.
That will rival this party. And he got pissed at me. He said, yo, don't play with me on your ass, I'm Diddy, you know what I'm saying? I said, no, I'm not. I respect you. But in LA, I'm known for throwing like these cool little parties. So he came to LA in my modest little home. He showed up, well, he called like Saturday morning. Yo, Playboy, I'm in town, make it happen. I said, cool. So I went into my little phones, called about 200 of the coolest people. They all came to my house. Puff showed up with, you know, SUVs and FBI. It was just, you know, it's crazy. And, you know, because it was, you know, Puff was always sort of dangerous, you know, so he had all kinds of people following. So he gets out and he comes to my house and he said, oh, that's the girl on that show and that's the guy on that show. And I said, yeah, we're all friends. We all hang out. He said, oh, man.
Some have hired extra security, others have quietly left the country, and a few have started cooperating with federal investigators while keeping their mouths shut about what they've revealed. The entertainment industry's code of silence is cracking under the weight of potential criminal charges. Diddy's reaction in court tells us everything we need to know about how seriously he's taking these allegations. Someone who's innocent doesn't explode with rage when accused. They deny it calmly and let their lawyers handle the response. But someone who knows the allegations might be provable reacts exactly like Diddy did, and with panic, anger, and desperation to shut down the conversation before it goes any further. The federal investigation is expanding beyond civil lawsuits into potential criminal conspiracy charges. If prosecutors can prove that Diddy attempted to eliminate a witness who was cooperating with law enforcement, we're not talking about paying settlements anymore. We're talking about life in prison. The Bodyguard's testimony might be the crack in the dam that brings down everything Diddy has built over decades in the music industry. This case has evolved from entertainment gossip to a potential murder conspiracy that reaches into the highest levels of hip-hop culture. Jamie Foxx might have been just hours away from exposing a network of abuse and criminal activity that would have destroyed careers and sent powerful people to prison. Instead, he ended up in a hospital bed, fighting for his life, while the people who allegedly tried to silence him continued their lives as if nothing happened. The question now isn't whether Diddy's empire will survive these allegations. The question is how many other victims will find the courage to speak up before this investigation concludes. Big Homie CeCe's testimony might have just opened the door for other insiders to reveal what they know about the dark side of celebrity culture. Jamie Foxx survived whatever happened to him in April 2023, but his silence since returning to public life suggests he knows exactly how dangerous it would be to tell the whole truth. What do you think really happened to Jamie Foxx?